he's not a relationship expert. He's not a marriage expert. He's a person who's married, who's figuring it out with his wife. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Eboni Harris. I'm a relationship therapist based in Houston, Texas. Alright, so this is going to be another rant. This is going to be another just like me kind of going off on a topic. It was about relationship experts. I was talking during my first vlog around Kevin Samuels and his death, and people being surprised by the lack of concern with the fact that he had passed, and that led me wanting to talk a little bit about relationship experts. So again, if you've watched any of my other videos, I've talked about the fact that this is my first vlog, it ended up being like 3.5 hours, and I was like, yeah, we can't do that. So I've broken down the different videos into smaller videos. So excuse how I look today, because this is just me editing the video, and I wanted to make sure I do an intro, and excuse how I look on that video, because I just didn't wasn't planning to like make this his own video. So typically I try to like put a little makeup on and whatever, but this is me all day, every day. I wanted to briefly also touch on the idea of the relationship experts, the dating experts, and all of that. And this is something that I talked to plenty of my therapist friends about. I have talked to my friends. I've probably talked publicly on like previous podcasts that I have, all of that stuff. And I don't necessarily have an issue with experts, right? Because technically I'm an expert. When I've been quoted as being a relationship and sex expert, I have a lot of expertise in the area. I've been working in this field for a very long time. So I am an expert, right? The struggle is when your expertise, for me, this is my opinion, no one else has to agree with me, only comes from life experience. Because that means it's just like, whenever you watch like the weight loss vlogs, if anybody ever watches anything around weight loss or anything like that, they always say, this is what I did, this may not work for you, right? Because everybody has separate experiences. And so what I would do in a situation is not what you would do in a situation. And as a therapist, I know that. So as a therapist, when I am speaking, and this is why if you watch my videos, I don't make a lot of absolutes, because I understand that there are nuances in everything, right? I sometimes feel like that is what people like, is for you to say, no, this is what you should do, and this is how you should do it. And that's just not me. Are there certain areas where I feel like, well, this is how communication works, so you should probably work on these things? Yes. But when it comes to like dating and relationships, like can't nobody give, especially dating, let me say that, especially when it comes to dating, it is so many factors that go into who you date, how you date, who's available to you, and all of that, that it isn't very fair to give people these rules that worked for you when you lived in X city with this number of men or women, whoever you're dating, and you were at this income bracket, and you look like this, all of that. When you have all of these factors that play into why you may have been successful, whatever your version of successful is, in dating, that may not be the case for everyone. And so I feel as though when the expertise solely comes from personal experience, and or when it is focused on women needing to be the ones that change, and women needed to be the ones to adjust and cater and do what they need to do to be appealing to men or other women or whatever it is, that is where I struggle, right? I know some amazing relationship experts who have studied, they aren't therapists, but they've done their due diligence as far as understanding the science behind relationships. They've done their due diligence as far as understanding that your experience will not be my experience, will not be their experience. And so when you're speaking to someone, you have to understand who they are before you can tell them, oh, go do this, and do that. That's why, I work with relationships, I work with individuals, and I have clients sometimes to ask me like, so where do I need to go to meet men? And I'm like, I could give you a list of places, but that doesn't mean you're going to meet a man, right? Or what do I need to do to go on a date, to have somebody take me on a date? I can only give you so much information. There are ways that you can increase your probability of getting married or going on dates. Unfortunately, a lot of that starts with you have to move somewhere where people are, right? And everybody doesn't have that privilege. There's so much that goes into it. And so to tell, again, especially when it feels like it's aimed at women needing to be X, women needing to do Y in order to be with this person, that's where I struggle. So, but like I said, I know plenty of relationship experts, and I say relationship experts, dating experts, I I don't know a lot about dating coaches, dating experts. I know matchmakers, all of that resources use them, but I don't necessarily know how well it helps. If you've experienced it with a dating coach and you've seen positivity, if you have, if you are a dating coach or expert or something, leave it in the comments, right? If you know exactly how, or if you've seen the proof in how much it can help, right? I just don't see it, right? I have clients that see dating coaches. I have clients that see matchmakers and things like that, and they'll have some experiences, but it still won't amount to what they want it to be. So I just think there are so many factors and there's so many things that you cannot control when it comes to dating and relationships that it just sometimes feels like it can be a scam. Not saying all the time, but sometimes it can feel like it's a scam. So yeah, I appreciate those coaches and experts that recognize the limits of their abilities. And especially I have a few, even in Houston, that I know and I get along with, and that have referred to me, that they understand I am not a therapist. So that means this is how far I can go as far as helping you. But if it goes deeper than that, if you have some stuff to heal and all of that, I have to refer you to a therapist, a licensed therapist, right? Because that is not the scope of what I do. So I just would be mindful as you're listening to these online experts, because there's a lot of them. Just be mindful around who they are, where is their information coming from, and is it solely based on the fact that they are married, right? And sometimes we do. I did a talk years ago, and it was a panel of males. So it was like a couple of my male friends and a couple other males, and one of my male friends is married. And so we're doing this panel, and my male friend that's married came late. And we're talking, just kind of having conversations. It was a really cool vibe. We did like icebreakers, and then I hosted the talk, and really cool. Well, when my married male friend came in late, we keep talking, and then I think at one point they asked, like, well, what's everybody's relationship status? And so he's the only one that isn't married. Everybody else, all the other guys are single. They zoomed in on him, like, tell me how did you find her? What is it about her? How did you know she was the one? How long did y'all date? Like, asking him all of these questions. And this is my friend that I've known since I was 14 years old. That he's been married since he was 25. How long have they been married? 26, I think. He's known his wife since we were 14 years old. His wife is my best friend. So he has a very different story than most people, but they were like on him because he's the married person. So he must know what he's talking about because he's married. I love my friend. I love their relationship. I love what they built. He's not a relationship expert. He's not a marriage expert. He's a person who's married, who's figuring it out with his wife. So I think sometimes we look at the credentials of like, oh, you hit this space, you must know how to get me there. And while I agree with that in a lot of areas, I agree with that in business. I agree with that even in healing. I can agree with that in parenting and well, even that's kind of nuanced, but parenting and that type of stuff. I understand that you might want to get information from the person that is doing it and has done it well, or that you see has succeeded in that area. Really, business is the only one I really feel about that. Business and probably finances, those are main two. But I understand that. But when it comes to two people coming together, it's really hard to base anything you're going through with someone who just is married, right? And I think about the Derek Jackson thing, right? That's a prime example of that. He is spewing, first off, nobody even really knew he was married, but he is spewing all this information. And of course, he's twisting it to be like, I'm for the women. I'm for y'all. Y'all need to do better. Y'all deserve better. Like, he's twisting it that way, but it's still kind of telling y'all are trash, right? That's my opinion of it. Again, may not be everybody's opinion. And then it comes out that he hasn't had the perfect marriage. He hasn't been the perfect husband. There has been infidelity. And there seems like there's something kind of going on even within the relationship, some stuff that people aren't very comfortable with. And so we bring value to these people based on what they're saying, or based on their life experiences, or based on the fact that they're married, or whatever the case may be. But we're not taking into account the whole picture and also understanding what they get from it, right? I knew I always wanted to talk about relationships. I always wanted to talk about sex. I always wanted that to be my primary, business. I wanted that to be what I did for a living. I chose to go to school because I knew that was the easiest way to become an expert. I was a marriage counselor. I'm still a marriage counselor for 12 years. Technically, I'm still single. I'm in a relationship, but technically, I'm still single. I've been single for those 12 years. I've helped hundreds of couples because I am not basing it on my life experience, because that has nothing to do with their relationship. So I feel like I'm about to go on a whole tangent. So I don't know. I just feel like when it comes to the dating and a relationship experts, it just feels as though sometimes, and probably just a lot of times with the public ones, even, and I'll be honest, even some of the therapist experts I know quite a few that are therapists that are like moving more toward the coaching expertise, all that kind of stuff. Even with them, it feels, one, gimmicky, it feels scammy, and it feels inauthentic, and it does not take into account the nuances of everyone's situation, of their history, and of their relationship status. So I think that's important to kind of note. So this went a lot longer than I planned for it to go. I'll probably chop this up because I don't want this to be, I'm not trying to have like a hour-long vlog. I don't think anybody for it one day, but I just want to kind of share my thoughts on those. I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope it was something that interested you. I have like one more video from that vlog because, again, I talked way too much. So in the future, I'll just start making videos on the days I do vlogs around the topics versus trying to add it all to the vlog. But I hope that you enjoyed this. Please like, subscribe, share, all the things, and make sure that you come back each week for new videos. Talk to you later. That's all. Bye.